Aparajita Sarangi, the opposition has actually come out all guns blazing in the Mahua Moitra case, for example, alleging, one, that the member of parliament that time was not given an opportunity to defend herself on the floor of the house. They also say this action shows BJP's brute majority and force to silence opposition voices, ma'am.
Parliamentary Standing Committee on Privileges and Ethics sat thrice. And during three sittings, we heard the complainant and the defendant. Now, the defendant was Madam Mahua Moitra. We heard her for more than 1 hour. And you know, there is an expression in English, opportunity of being heard. This opportunity was given to her. We heard her at length, and there were certain questions that had been asked. And you know what happened then and there. In fact, all of you had reported. Certain questions were asked by the chairman of the committee, and she started fuming and fretting. She was extremely angry, very uncomfortable, and she used unparliamentary language for the chairman and walked out of the room. She refused to answer the questions. 1 full day had been dedicated by the committee to listen to her. But after 2 hours of sitting, she went out of the room. We wanted to sit and talk to her and listen to her. Now, at the same time, let me tell you, since I'm a member of the committee,
yes,
we went through the affidavit of Darshan Hiranandani, which was a sworn affidavit, sworn before the Deputy Consulate General of Dubai. Now, thereafter, we also asked for a report, an inquiry report from the Ministry of Information Technology, Electronics, and of course, Ministry of Home Affairs and other related ministries. They also gave their report regarding the truth behind, or rather the fact behind, the sharing of login credentials by Mahua Moitra with somebody in Dubai. So I think after looking into everything, the Parliamentary Standing Committee submitted a very comprehensive, detailed report.
Okay.
And the report was discussed today in the Lok Sabha, and we know what happened thereafter. There was voting today, and I must tell you, there was voting 3 times during the sittings of the Parliamentary Standing Committee. Every time the majority voted against Madam Mahua Moitra ji. So today also she lost in the Lok Sabha. So there is something called ethical conduct.
I'm glad, ma'am.
Okay, the principle of natural justice, this claim that falls flat. The BJP says Mahua Moitra had an opportunity to put forward her point of view on the 2nd of November. The ethics committee waited for her. As Aparajita Sarangi says, she fretted, she fumed, she stormed out. That due process was followed, insists the BJP.
Aparajita ji, we are all aware of the affidavit signed by Darshan Hiranandani. But the fact of the matter is, ma'am, when such a serious decision was to be taken, why wasn't this businessman summoned by the panel committee and discussed? No, one mere affidavit is fine. You're a great, respectable member of parliament, and so is Mahua Moitra. There is no evidence on her. There is no proof of cash and gifts. She was not even allowed to speak inside the parliament. Isn't it fair, man? The fact of the matter, Aparajita ji, Simriti Irani, Mahua Moitra, you're all guiding lights for lakhs and crores of women of this country, but you're not given no proof of cash gifts. Why, ma'am? No evidence. Why wasn't Hiranandani summoned for the same by the panel committee? Why? Because he closed cahoots with your government in the dirty tricks department of the BJP? Ma'am, you are a great woman leader, and so is Mahua Moitra. This is not equal, and this is absolutely unfair.
Okay. Ma'am, you want to quickly respond before I bring in Dr. Vikram Singh?
See, in 2005, a similar incident had happened, and 11 members of parliament had been expelled by the then Speaker, Lok Sabha, Shri Somnath Chatterjee ji. At that point of time, also the members of parliament had not been allowed to speak for the simple reason that they had been heard in the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Privileges and Ethics. Once the opportunity of being heard has been given, and she has been heard at length, there is no reason why she should be asked to speak in the Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha was deliberating upon the content of the report submitted by the committee, and everybody was heard, both from the ruling dispensation and the opposition party. So I think today again there was voting. As I said earlier, I would repeat, there was voting, and she lost because the majority went against her.
Dr. Vikram Singh,
but where is the proof of the cash?
Dr. Vikram Singh, last 30 seconds that I have on this part of the show. is
It's a
the
question
principle
of
of...
ethical conduct.
Okay, go on,
Evidence.
Aparajita Sarangi, quickly finish your point, ma'am.
Aparajita ji, proof of cash and gifts and evidence, ma'am. That's
No,
all
I
I'm
was
asking.
just saying,
Aparajita Sarangi, complete your point, ma'am.
I was just saying that, yes, I was just saying that as a parliamentarian, we are supposed to behave in a certain manner, in a responsible manner. We cannot demonstrate unethical conduct. We cannot behave in a manner unbecoming of a parliamentarian. This is one part. Number two, parliamentary procedures have to be followed. She did not follow those procedures. Number three, the affidavit was sworn. Please remember, I use this word sworn with a lot of emphasis.
Fair enough.
This
Let me quickly
affidavit
get
was
Dr. Vikram
shown
Singh,
by
last
Darshan
30 seconds that I have on
Hirandani,
this
who
part of
was
the
the
show.
Deputy Consulate
Dr. Vikram
General
Singh,
in Dubai.
those
So there was
principles
no
of
question,
natural
there was
justice
no
would
reason
mean
why
the accused is given an
Hirandani
opportunity to
should have
defend
been
herself. Is Aparajita Sarangi, or is the parliament right in saying, or the speaker right in saying, she had an opportunity in that committee to give her point of view? Here the discussion was only on the findings of that report.
Gauravji, I am in no illusion that the honorable members of the Ethics and the Privileges Committee are people with a lot of considerable wisdom and sense of truth, integrity, honesty, and justice. And to question their wisdom of perversion and one-sided action is absolutely nonsensical, and I take the strongest exception to that. Everything was transparent, and who am I to question whether they did not call somebody from Dubai, Hirandani or whoever, but that it is for them to see who they choose to call, and if there is something on an affidavit, as Aparajita ji has mentioned, something on oath and an affidavit is sufficient and incontrovertible evidence on which
Vikram
reliance
Saab,
can
where
be
is
made.
the proof of cash and gifts,
Okay,
Vikram Saab?
I'll
Absolutely.
more on this story
This
in
is
the
not
days
the
ahead,
time.
but I've run out of
Evidence,
time on
proof of
this
cash.
part of the show. Aparajita Sarangi, Syed Abbas and Dr. Vikram Singh, as always, for joining me here. Many thanks.